We lost you there for a second. There she is.
Oh my goodness. All right.
You're good. You're good.
I was the one who kept saying, I was like, I have no issues. I do this all the time. All right.
All right. Hang on a second here. Hang on. Nothing wrong with this. Nothing wrong with this at all. All right. Let's dive in here. All right. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. All right, everybody. Our next amazing guest on International Podcast 2018 is a freaking rock star. This lady is out there slaying it, doing some great big things. I have to tell you, Phoebe, from reading your bio and other things like that, I'm even more impressed out there with some of the great things you've accomplished. For those that don't know who Phoebe is, a little bit about her bio. Phoebe helps 5- and 6-figure business owners launch their programs or services and rise to the top by using her killer marketing secrets, ninja selling tools, and over-the-top creative strategies. By the age of 30, she had traveled to more than 55 countries on 6 continents. I'm a little jelly right now for that, all right? Been cage diving with great white sharks, camped in the Serengeti, and motorbiked across Europe. Her professional experience has been just as colorful and adventurous over the past 10 years. Phoebe has grown her portfolio with several ventures, including a 6-figure online marketing business that she built in 12 months to help established entrepreneurs launch online courses and products. Co-host a podcast with 900,000 downloads, which is awesome. Hosted events and online retreats while also launching her own podcast, The Unbecoming. Now she helps passionate entrepreneurs redefine what is to be fully alive, successful, and more importantly, their best self so they can create a life and business they fall in love with every day. Ultimately, it is her mission to help women gain the confidence and courage to live an extraordinary life that impacts the world. So without further ado, the one, the only, Phoebe. You got a little applause going there.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Well, we're excited to have you too as well there. For those that don't know you and didn't listen to that there, tell everybody who Phoebe is. Tell them a little about yourself, actually. I'm sorry, Phoebe.
Yeah, so there's so many different directions to go in. So as you mentioned, I am a traveler. I'm an adventurer at heart. That is very much a part of who I am. Actually, I need to update that because I think it's over 60 countries now. I think it's 64, 65. And I've just been really passionate about helping people actually discover or uncover their real gifts in the world, right? So everyone talks all about how you're becoming a new person. And so my mission is really to help them unbecome all of the things that they feel like they should be, right? So releasing the perfectionism, the judgment, the expectations that everyone else has on you to actually really discover or uncover or, figure out who you really are. Because Simon Sinek, his whole statement of the people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And I actually believe that people buy who you are way before they ever buy why you do what you do. So helping people discover the who piece and then having the marketing background to help them actually create magic in the world. And how do they broadcast that in a way that feels really authentic and genuine to who they are?
What's been your biggest surprise? Do you have a biggest aha moment from talking with everybody, from interviewing people and talking with entrepreneurs who are successful? What's been your biggest aha nugget?
I think probably just how similar everybody is. And the people, I come into every interview with, really try to have no expectations. And then just the way that I am blown away because the way that they show up so powerfully and the way that they just push through all the other boundaries that they have, they have the same thoughts and fears and feelings as everybody else, but they just choose to go above and beyond and do things a little bit differently. So I don't know if it's one specific thing. It's just the way that everyone shows up, which is really cool.
But maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just the fact that everybody shows up on a regular basis. Would you think that's part of the success too?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I mean, 90% of it is showing up, right? That's the most important thing. So show up, and then how do you communicate who you are in a clear, concise way? Yeah.
Communicating who you are in a clear, concise way. So you take the unknowing or what am I trying to say here? The chaos out of trying to share who your message is, right?
Absolutely. For sure.
What is Oh my gosh. You've done so many great things in travel. And I love the travel aspect of things. I love traveling. Not been in areas in the country. So I saw that. I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's so great. 16. And you are talking about doing more of a kind of a vagabond thing around the United States here over the next few months too, right?
Yeah. So there is a conversation happening behind closed doors. Actually, now that you say, I'm like, my family doesn't even really know. So, I've just been telling the people, I'm telling all the people that, that would support me in that, and not that they wouldn't, but I've been so many, I'll say I've traveled a lot, but domestically, I really haven't. And so the thought is that I would go and kind of buy an RV and drive around and have my mobile podcasting station and just interview amazing people in different locations. So yeah, that is a conversation for sure.
Well, I think it's easier than most people believe. I did that for a while. I've got some really good friends who've done it for a while. Like we were talking at New Media Summit. Hey, glad to help. So just give you any ideas. Heck, Tyler, who was on a few minutes ago, had a great idea for the community aspect. So I know you've got a growing community, definitely with 900,000 plus downloads. What's been the biggest aha moment from your community, or biggest lesson learned, or biggest surprise from that?
I think it's just the level of engagement, right? People are craving real. I think that's probably the biggest thing. So I talk a lot in my community about truth, trust, and transparency. And that is, I think, what is needed to grow a successful business. And so for me, listening to my community, I mean, obviously they're going to tell me what they want, but a lot of what they want is just more real. I got on my show and I said something about how I ate 4 pints of ice cream in 4 days or something. And I got so many emails from that one episode, just people being like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe you would be so brave to share that. And I'm like, is that brave? Or I don't know. Like, I just didn't know that other people aren't being, that it's not like they just want more you, right? More real person, so that they can actually relate to that person. Yeah, I'm going to eat 4 pints of ice cream today, or I'm going to have a killer day in business tomorrow. Like, who knows what's going to happen? But just communicating through that lens of being honest and knowing that they trust you and being really transparent about where you are. There's no, why are we all lying and pretending all the time? Like, it gets boring and it gets old.
So what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Mint chocolate chip, for sure.
Yeah. Careful what you say. You may have more of that show up. I've said that before the air, that I like Crown and Cuban cigars. I've had Crown Royal show up and Cuban cigars show up, all that good stuff.
Bring it.
Crazy.
I would love any kind of mint chocolate chip ice cream. Yeah. Perfect. Somebody asked me if I was trying to get sponsored by Haagen-Dazs because I had mentioned it so many times. I was like, I mean, I'm not opposed to it, to be honest.
Good stuff there. You've done some amazing things. Why don't you talk how you love, I mean, you've obviously got a passion for helping entrepreneurs succeed. Talk a little bit about what you're doing on your day in, day out, besides just the show, but how some of the things that you're helping entrepreneurs out there succeed. Especially, I know you've got a passion for helping women entrepreneurs succeed as well, too, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So it wasn't until this year that I actually started working with men. I've only ever worked with women, and it's just two completely different scenarios. So the whole, what I was saying earlier with the Simon Sinek, people buy who you are before they ever buy why you do anything. And so what I do is I actually help people. I have a process that I take people through that really strips away everything that they feel like they should be. So it's this unbecoming in life. And I would say my belief is that we build businesses as an extension of ourselves. And so if you're not working your business, there's no way your business could work. So what I'm helping people do is unbecome in their real life, like in their quote unquote real life, and then help them unbecome in business. And so that's the who piece. So really digging super deep. I'm a big fan of deep conversations, powerful conversations, the right questions, and then discovering who you are, and then actually how do you communicate that? So I'm working with entrepreneurs that have a great message. I talk about how I love to be the motor in the boat. I just need the right boats, passionate people that love what they do and love who they are. So my first piece is the who, and then we get to the why, and then the what is just the easy part. The how falls in line, but helping them communicate in a better way, helping them grow their audience, connect and engage with people that really care about who they are, and how do they stand out just by being themselves. So
you really kind of break them down, kind of like an old boxing coach. Get them down to the basics, down to the the 2x4s down to the foundation and then build it back up from there. It sounds like, huh?
Absolutely. I'm an intense person to work with. I want to know everything that I want to know about your marriage and your kids, and because that helps me paint a better picture of who you are so we can communicate that better.
That's such a great thing. We got Brett Burke out of Orlando. This is great statement and process out there. Loving that stuff. You also got a lot of hearts for people out there. Got some great listeners and followers of your show. That's huge, because do you ever see that? I'm sure you probably dealt with this, because I see this a lot, where people want to be like somebody else in business. Like they're coming into business, they want to be exactly like that person. And that's really probably the biggest mistake that they make, is trying to be like somebody else.
Absolutely. And I mean, I have to say, the only reason why I can say that I know that is because I've done it myself. In my first couple courses that I launched, I was so polished, like to the point where I'm a rough around the edges kind of person. That's just my personality. But I was so focused on, okay, so she's successful, right? A lot of people are preaching the template, the blueprint, the one way to do things. And I actually I think that's total nonsense, because the way that it works for you is not going to be the way that I build my business, right? It's going to be the way that feels right. And I think your audience, actually, I know your audience can feel that when there's a disconnect, right? Where they're like, all right, that just doesn't sound like her. And I know that my friends, and especially my friends that listen to my show, they will call me out. They're the first people to call me out and be like, that did not even sound like you. And I'm like, what? Oh, but it keeps you honest, right? And so helping entrepreneurs actually communicate who they are in their true, authentic fashion only allows them to be successful. It really creates massive success. And I've seen it time and time again where people try to be somebody else, or they have the one formula that somebody sold them for 3 easy payments of $9.99. And you're like, well, that sucks, because it's not even who you are, and you're going to you fall into burnout. And that's when one of my phrases, I'm like, I intercept people before they hit catastrophe or burnout, right? I want to get to you first, because I'm going to help you, and we're in this together, and we're a team to help you build something amazing. I love money. I want to make a lot of money doing things that I really love to do with people that I care about. So how do I do that?
You got to be a football fan if you're using the word intercept. Huh?
Absolutely, of course. I'm a former college soccer player, so I mean, I'm all sports. Yep, absolutely.
There you go. Good stuff there. Good stuff there as well. So, with all the things that you've done, and then the travel and stuff like that, I want to know what's the scariest thing you've done traveling that really just like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that.
I mean, I think there are 2 categories for that, really, right? There's one that's like, all right, maybe that was a little stupid and dangerous. So that was probably driving, trying to cross a border from Tanzania to Mozambique. That just like that was actually like really scary. And then the cage diving with great whites, that takes the cake as far as so out of my element, and just you're there with an animal that is just so large, and I mean, they're not that dangerous, but they're scary looking. So yeah.
So you take the whole swimming with sharks to a different level.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. But I'm an adrenaline junkie. I love it.
But would you agree that's probably one of the best learning tools for those that are getting into podcasting, they're getting into media as entrepreneurs, is to get outside the proverbial box or outside the cage that we put ourselves in?
So I just think I hate when people call it your comfort zone, because it's actually your discomfort zone. Like, everything that you want is outside of your comfort zone. So why do we make it sound like this beautiful, comfortable place when that's actually, it should be, if you are comfortable, that should set off alarm bells, right? That like, well, I feel complacent. So yeah, absolutely. Adventure. I mean, for me, it's like, it's all the same thing. It's like when I have retreats for my clients, I always do something adventurous. My clients are always worried I'm going to throw them out of a plane, and I would never do that. But I'm tempted, but I would never do that. And I feel like it allows you to like really process, like, you want adventure, you want to get outside the box, go have, do something that you're not used to doing. And absolutely, if you're trying to start a podcast, somebody told me that it takes 25 episodes to like really find your footing. It probably took me about 55 or 60. Like, it took me a long time to actually get in my groove. And now I've done, a ton of podcasts, but if I had stayed in a place where I felt comfortable, I never would have grown. I never would have built a business. I never would have done any of these, any of the things that you read on my bio. So yeah.
Yeah, we got Brett Burke online again. It says, how does one find their voice and angle? I think you just said it there. Because I know we should be doing more, but have to have a process. So talk about the process of kind of finding your voice and angle, Phoebe, because that's what that's what you said you're doing with a lot of entrepreneurs out there who are struggling to find it. What's probably the three biggest things, or if you've got a list, or what are some of the things they can use to help find their voice?
Yeah, so the first one is an audit. Like, do an actual audit of who you are, what you've been through, because a lot of people look through a lens of what they think people should, what they think they should have done. So it's like a laundry list of all these accomplishments. And as opposed to accomplishments, let's just look at who you are, and let's look at some themes that are running throughout your life, right? Pull out those red threads. That is actually how you're going to find your voice. And that's the lens that you wear through which you actually promote yourself. So you're going to, obviously, the first step is always going to do an audit. Then you're going to actually figure out what the alignment piece for you is. So it's audit, and then alignment, and then getting into action. And then I put in accountability, all the alliterations. And so really trying to figure out what is an alignment for you? And what does that mean? What do you want? Because what you want is going to be different from what I want. And how do I create that? So what I like to do is actually paint the picture. So now we've done an audit. Now we paint the picture of what your future is going to look like, and we just reverse engineer it. And how do you get into action and stay accountable? Who are you staying accountable to? And then obviously you're going to kind of adjust. That's the last step, is just adjust and fine tune and refine and tweak the whole time that you're going. I love real-time feedback. That's why podcasting is a little challenging, I have to say, because you're not getting that real-time feedback where I can see you nodding and you're getting me and you're understanding and all of that. So how do you create that? How do you create avenues to allow for real-time feedback and engagement? So that's my process. Right. So you can always find me. I'm big on Instagram. I love Instagram. So Instagram.com/Phoebe Mroczek. My last name is tricky to spell, but I'm sure it's somewhere you can find it. And on Facebook, and then my podcast is unbecomingpodcast.com/iTunes. If you're on iTunes, or Stitcher /Spotify, I'm all over the place. I love social media. So just come and connect with me. I know a lot of people try to put themselves on pedestals, and I try to knock the pedestal down as often as I can. So come and connect with me. I would love to have a chat.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So Phoebe, thank you so much. We could spend hours talking about this, but we've got Amy ready to rock and roll here. So thank you so much. Once again, everybody, go out, listen to the Unbecoming. Great stuff. I've been binging it as well the last couple of days. Go out, leave a 5-star review. Got some great stuff to share. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. Getting a lot of love. Thank you. This was great. Thanks. People online there. Loving you, Phoebe. Awesome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And whatever I can do to help support whoever is out there and listening, and also you, Scott, as well.
Thanks, Phoebe. Appreciate it. Awesome. Have a great rest of your Sunday.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
We'll do. We'll definitely. All right. Our next guest, let's get her on here real fast, is the one, the only Amy Schuber. And we bring her on over here. Boom. Ask to start video. Good stuff. Mute there. And change 10D. Let's see here. Amy, are you there?
Hi.
There we go. Hang on a second here. 1 second here.